What's good? What's good? What's good? I don't know about you, but you know, with me, the grind is times two, guys. I ain't gonna lie, the grind is times two, man. And what I'm talking to y'all about tonight is something that I think every dealer, car flipper, or whatever you are, if you deal with buying cars from insurance auto auction, you need to hear this. All right, so I'm gonna start off by telling you, of course, hey, if you happen to find this informational or educational, then go ahead and hit the like button for me at any time in this video. Also, you can drop comments below. Let me know what's up, what you think about what I'm saying, and shit like that. So, you want to buy and sell cars, or you already buy and sell cars. You want to know about IAA and how to decipher the good cars versus the bad cars. It's very easy. It's very easy. All you have to do is follow a few guidelines, and those guidelines is guaranteed to bring you success. Just being honest. All right. So first and foremost, we want to start off, man, with just knowing what IAA is. IAA is simply an insurance auto auction. The name, should say a lot, for itself. It should, it's self-explanatory, guys. But some people tend to think that you can go to IAA and still pick up on a good car that doesn't need anything done to it, in which it depends on what you're willing to leave broken. Because truth be told, every car in IAA, no matter what car it is, has something wrong with it. Every car. Every car. There is not one that you would find to not have a problem. And before I go to say that, I would say, if you do, let's just give it a good 10% of the cars that you find in IAA is actual repossessions, just because of a person who couldn't make the payments, But when you're dealing with IAA, just know that even a repossession, I'm willing to say, hey, there is no such thing as a car that has no problem. Now, where does that help us? How does that help us? If you're a dealer, you basically already are in buying cars, reconditioning them, and putting them back out for sale. All right, so you're already in touch with mechanics. You're already in touch with body collision repairman. You're already in touch with a paint body guy, a mobile detailing guy. You already got these resources at your speed dial. So you basically use those resources, but you also use them in a way where you're going to be able to still profit at the end of the day. All right. So, anyways, we're gonna go back IAA status. All right. So, 75% of the cars that are sold in IAA through what you call Title Max. So Title Max is one of the sellers at IAA, big seller. Title Max, of course, as you know, is a title loan company, and what they do is they give you a title loan, based upon your vehicle, year, make, model of your vehicle, what it books out to be, So yeah, they always give you less than what your vehicle is worth in the first place. I get it. Yeah, that's Title Max. But let's say a I go and I take this 2006 Honda Civic and I get a title loan on it for, let's say, $600, or $1,200, right? And the title loan is to be paid, monthly. All right. Well, what if my 2006 Honda Civic right here decides to break down on me, and now the motor's blown, or it's overheating because the head gasket's blown, or it's slipping out of third and fourth gear, you know what I mean? And I still have a title loan on this vehicle, right? The first thing that most people do or think is, I'm not paying no title loan on a broken vehicle. That's the first thing they think of. I'm not going to pay a title loan on a broken vehicle. That is not happening. So, what do? They let Title Max repo the car. And then what does Title Max do? Title Max takes the car into a lot where they can assess whether the car is running drivable, actual running drivable, as in, little small problems can be, but they want to make sure it shifts out good and this and that. And what they do is, when they see that they got a car that shifts good and all of that crap, they take that car and they put it in another lot, which is kind of similar to one of the Title Max auction lots that we have right here in South Carolina, down in Summerville. If you're from South Carolina, here's a nugget. Here's a golden nugget, guys. And you want to find Title Max cars that run good. Your best bet would be to find where the Title Max auto auctions are. And I call them auto auctions because you can put a bid in on the car, and if they take it, they take it. So it's similar to a if bid, if you ask me. So we do have one here in Summerville, South Carolina. It is located, I can't remember the name of the road, but it's off of I-26 near Truckville. There's a Moneyman Pond, and there's a big Truckville, GMC Truckville, I believe. And behind the Moneyman Pond is a auto money or title, Title Max. Well, it's an auto money, title loan auction. So that's for auto money. But Title Max, all of them bring their cars there to that auction, But Title Max also has their very own auction that they host at a certain place or whatever as well. So, those auctions are where the good cars, quote unquote, goes. Now, when Title Max see that the customer just made them repo a car with a blown head gasket, guess where they go? IAA. Car that don't shift out right, IAA. They send them to the insurance auto auction. Why? Because the chain of command is, when the car comes back into Title Max and it's not running, or if it comes back into auto money and it's not running, they do an insurance claim on it. And that's how they get their money back out of the car, or whatever money there is in the car. They recoup their money out of the insurance company that they have in reference to that title loan. So every car is insured the day they give you a title loan. So they recoup their money from the insurance company. The insurance company, after they total loss your vehicle or repossess your vehicle or pay out on damages on a repossessed vehicle, what do? The first thing they do is they send it to an insurance auto auction. And those be the cars that have Title Max written on the little tag, you know, to show you what kind of car it is, make, model, you know, all that. Yeah, it tells you the seller as well, and it tells you Title Max. So, all right, just know that 75% of the cars that Title Max run through IAA is bullshit. Now, there's very slim occasions where Title Max would get to repossess a good running car, because 9 times out of 10 the owner of that car knows that it is a good running car and they will not stand losing it, you know, most of the times. There have been cases, and I'm pretty sure there are cases, where there are some owners who just knows it's a good car and just really can't afford the loan. And those are the cases that you want to buy. Those are the ones you want to pick up on if you're picking up on Title Max cars. But I can tell you that I've ran through my numbers, I ran through my statistics and all my data, if you will, on the last 4, 5, 6 months we've been in business, to see, you know, what car or what, you know, I narrowed it down to companies, as in what companies I was buying from. And yeah, I'm buying from IAA, true, but IAA is a consignment, so they're representing these cars, or they're presenting these cars for someone else. So I want to know the main source, and when you learn the main source, you kind of learn what not to deal with and what to deal with. All right, so leaving on, I do have my Bible right here next to me, so I have to make sure I stay on track with y'all, man. All right, so, you know, like I said, everything okay. So, all right, so when it comes down to insurance companies, let's say you see an insurance company name on the windshield sticker of the car. I'm going to just call it a run list order, or whatever you want to call it, the run list tag. Whenever you see an insurance company name on the run list tag, you can feel a little more at ease. I mean, yes, truth be told, the insurance cars and IAA usually are way more worse condition, you know, than the Title Max cars. So they're gonna require a lot more what you would call body work, if you will. All right. So some people run away from this. Like I said, if you have the resource of a collision guy, this is where you could win at. I say insurance cars, or cars sold by actual insurance companies, like if it says Geico on the window, or State Farm, or Progressive, you stand a better chance at getting a good car. And why do I say it like that? Following the order of operation behind insurance companies. Insurance companies would only have a car in an auction after it has been wrecked, for one reason, and that is because the car has been totaled out. When a car gets totaled out, the owner of that car gets paid, and in return, the insurance company has to sell that car to kind of recoup their money back. You know, so they pay you a check, take your car, and they recoup their money back by sending those cars to an auto auction. Hence, insurance auto auction. So, what does that really mean? Like, how does that help you to make money, right? Is what you're probably questioning right now. You know, how does that make you make money? You know, okay, so let's take a look at car that's on IAAI. Give you one example. You do I have my Wi-Fi? Yeah. Okay. So drop the Wi-Fi. Maybe it's because of the Wi-Fi. All right. So we're gonna give you. I'm gonna give you an example, man. All right. Pre-bids. I'm gonna show you one that I was outbidded on. Right. This is one that I was outbidded on. And this one is being sold by the Auto Owners Insurance. And it says that. Auto Owners Insurance. We'll see if you can see it or not. Let me set that down there. Where is it? You can see it right there. Oh man, I just messed it up. 1 second here. Okay, so I just switched it, but anyways, by Geico. It's $52.13. Estimated cash value. Actual cash value is $55.56. All right, so this totaled it out because the vehicle damages came and exceeded more than 60% of the vehicle's worth. Right? That's what Geico does. Now let's take a look at the damages to this vehicle. Now this vehicle has some hood damage right there, as you can see. Right? But everything else on this vehicle is pretty much good, I think. Oh, and it has some rear damage. You can see where the light right there isn't sitting properly in where it should be. And how the quarter panel there has some damages. And that bumper doesn't look pretty straight. But anyways, interior looks good. Yeah, it's just been pushed in the bumper a little bit. Alright, so we're looking at this thing, man, and this thing got 107,000 miles, guys. Alright? Right. Alright. Nice V6 motor. Need to be clean. A key. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Now, let's go look at the primary damage listed for this vehicle. Alright, so the primary damage, and this is a 2008 Kia Sportage LX. Now, the primary damage listed for this vehicle, loss is primary damage, front and rear. Secondary damage, right side. Right? Everything else runs and drives. The key fob is present, and the airbags are intact. You know what I mean? Right? And it's selling at Charleston, which, yeah. But anyways, Geico. Seller. Right? You that this car was in an accident. It had to have been driving. You see what I'm saying? It had to have been driving. And, you know, being that it was driving, it sounds like to me, you fix whatever the accident caused, then you might have a good running vehicle. You know, you're more prone, I would say, to have a good running vehicle. 107,000 miles, you know what I mean, on an 08 Kia Sportage. So, you know, you win that bid for about, let's say, $1,000. Well, in the description below, you know, according to the insurance auto auctions cash ACV, or whatever, the actual cash value, is $5,500 on that vehicle, you know, and that's retail. So what I usually do, being that it's gonna have a salvage title, is salvage cars run anywhere from 20 to 40% lower than MSRP. So if MSRP is at $5,000, what I usually do, and this is how you make the most out of your cars that you flip. 5,500, let's say 5,500 is the MSRP, right? We're gonna multiply that, right, by 25% to see how much money we need to take off of this car, right? So we need to take off $1,375. This is going to be what you call a fair salvage car price for that 2008 Kia Sportage, or whatever the fuck that was. Excuse my language. All right, so $1,375 minus $5,500. So $4,175. Yes, it's a negative. Don't worry about that. In my mind, it's a positive. But anyways, $4,125 is what you can sell this car for and be considered to have a fair price. Now, me, I don't do fair prices. I mean, I do below the fair price. So me personally, seeing this $4,125, I'd probably shoot for, I'd say $4,000 and let them talk me down. Or I would even say, really, $3,500, you know, or $3,750, and let them talk me down to $3,500. Now you get this for $1,000. So $3,500 minus the $1,000. We all been to elementary school before, right? $2,500. You see what I'm saying? Cash money in your hand, right there and there, right then and there. So that would be a good deal, you know. You'd probably be into the car. I would say at the end of the day, even though you bought it for like $1,000, you'd probably be into it for about $1,500. So minus 5 out of that 25 right there, you still got $2,000 to play with, you know. And I ain't meaning play with now. I mean reinvest and flip again. That's the play I do. I don't play with money. Let me stop playing anyways. All right, so now that you got that understood, the best thing for you to do is, whenever you're buying cars from insurance, auto auction, even Copart, any insurance auto auction, make sure you're buying the cars from an insurance company. Now, you would also see something like this in an insurance auto auction. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Let's see. All right. So I'm gonna find one right quick, and then I'll show you guys. All right, so I found one, and it ain't looking good. You know, some people, there is a market for this thing. And I'm just put it like that. There is a market for this thing, and I've seen that market. So I'm gonna show you right now. This is a 1994 Toyota Land Cruiser DJ81. This thing here, there is a market for it, you know, right? So what we're gonna show you now is why you shouldn't fuck with this Toyota Land Cruiser DJ81. And the reason for that is because, simply put, let me show you. Go down. Let's look at the seller. What did you see for the seller? Nothing. Now let's go back a car. Who's the seller? Progressive. Let's go back another car. Who's the seller? Geico. Let's go back another car. Who's the seller? Geico. Why is it that this guy, or the seller, excuse me, doesn't want us to know that he's selling it? Actual cash value, $1,900. Right? Alright, now the current bid on this is $900. Now, like I said, there's a market for this. So hopefully the person who's buying it knows what the fuck he's getting into. And word to the wise, Charleston at this moment is not allowing previews. So I hope he really knows what the hell he's getting. Anyways, like I said again though, this is a Toyota. It's more of like a Jeep style Toyota. There's a market for it. Alright? But just to point out, the seller is anonymous. Number 5. The seller is Geico. The seller is Progressive. And you can clearly see what's wrong with the vehicle. You know what I mean? But with that Land Cruiser we just looked at, you couldn't see what was wrong with that Land Cruiser. That Land Cruiser was just there. It was just pretty. It's dirty, but it's pretty. And it was there. Peep it now. Peep, peep, peep game. So, you see what's wrong with that one. Okay. Alright, so let's go on down the line. Who is this? Geico. You see what's wrong with it. Alright. 2012 Ford Mustang. Who is this? Geico. You see what's wrong with it. You see what I'm saying? So, the best thing you can do for yourself to alleviate, all chances of your money being bamboozled or robbed from you or lost is when you buy insurance cars, or let me say that again. When you buy cars from insurance auto auction, make sure that you're buying that car, the seller of that car is an insurance company. First and foremost, make sure you're buying it from an insurance company. Why did that person not put his name? Why did that seller for the Land Cruiser remain anonymous? Let me explain that. It's because not only can insurance companies sell cars at Insurance Auto Auction, or aka IAAI, but title loan companies can sell cars there, tow companies can sell cars there, police departments can sell cars there, the public can sell cars there in certain states. South Carolina is not one of those states. And last but not least, dealers can sell cars there. What you normally see is a dealer will buy a insurance auto auction car, you know, and this would be a car that's in good shape. It says run and drive, and everything looks up to par around its cosmetically. So he feels to himself, okay. So what he does is he pays for that car at the office, in the office. He waits at the gate for the forklift to come and bring it to him, and then once he gets that car, what he does is he go and put his jump pack on it if it needs to be jumped, and he cranks and he tries to drive it right off the site. Now, it's the smartest thing he could have ever done, which I wouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. I peeped the scene. I know what he's doing, and it's pretty smart. It's simple. Because what he's doing right now is he's testing this car on maybe about a mile or two to see whether or not everything he needs to know, or basically everything he needs to know checks out. he wants to first see that it shifts, right? He wants to know that the motor isn't knocking, um, oil pump is working, um, water pump is working. He wants to know basically that the suspension is good when he swings it left to right, and testing to see whether or not, how everything works, what kind of car he has, what quality of car he has, is what he's trying to figure out. All right, so once he figures out to himself that he has a good enough quality car that he can continue on his ride down to the dealership or home or to the shop or wherever with that car, then that's what he did. That's what he does. But if that car knocks, if that car does not shift in third gear, he is spinning that bitch around and taking it right back to the auction. And he's going to walk back into the office. He's going to tell him, rerun this car. And he's going to basically rerun that same car through that same exact auction. Now, let's see. He bought it for $700. So someone bid $675 but lost, right? So his theory at this moment in time is someone been bidding against me. So there was motherfuckers wanting this car. You know what I mean? So it ain't like I'm the only man who would want the car. I ain't just jump up and say, "Oh, I'll take it for $700." You know what I mean? Somebody had to bid $675. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this shit look like a if bid. And how do you make it look like a if bid? You have to turn the car back in at the time of pickup. And why do I say at the time of pickup? Because they're at that moment preparing the run list for the next week. So if you put it right back in as soon as you got it and say, hey, I want to run this back through, let's say starting bid at $700, or the reserve is $700. The auction front desk personnel is going to put it back in. You give them the keys, or you leave the keys inside the car or whatever, and you give them the title, and they're going to run it back through. You're going to get 2 more runs for $99, flat rate fee or whatever. I think if the car does sell, and I think they give you a little, they take a little percentage off from that. But anyways, you get to run it back in. The person who bid $675 when you bid $700. He's gonna be at the auction next week. You know what I mean? If he's a dealer like me, he's at every auction. I'm at every auction. I rarely ever miss an auction, which I don't be there personally or physically, but I'm online on my cell phone. I got my cell phone right here. I can go to any auction on this cell phone, any auction. I can go to a California auction from here, South Carolina, on my cell phone, and have cars delivered from California right here. So, you don't have to be there in order to be there. You know what I mean? But he's going to rerun it through. And the person who bid $675 is going to basically be going through the next week's run list to make sure he's like, trying to make sure he keeps on top of his inventory and things like that. And I get it. So he's going to see that same car, and he's going to be like, damn, I lost the bid on this car last week, but I could win the bid this week. He's not thinking about the fact that the seller is anonymous. It's not an insurance company, and there's no body damage on this car. This car is mint, immaculate, and that's what they like. Immaculate cars. They want to know that, oh man, it's ready for the showroom. It is not ready for the showroom floor, fella. It is not near ready for the showroom floor. All right, so he's gonna do his little, dance and bid on the car, and he's gonna think he got, a one of a kind, in which he might have one of a kind, because a head gasket might be nothing to him. A transmission shifting, that might not be nothing to him. He might be willing to invest the extra money to get the transmission done, which probably be about a little extra $400, depending on his situation. If he's a mechanic, then buy the transmission out of the junkyard and put it in and see what you got, you know. If it runs, it runs. If it don't, they'll kick you another transmission. Simple, you know. But it depends on your level, how deep you want to get into this. If you're looking for ready to flip cars, you best look at a. I won't. You can look at IAAI, but like I say, I buy stuff. Me personally, I'm just giving y'all the inside now, right? A little bit of insider knowledge. I buy stuff like, let's just go back, way back. Right, let me show you some shits that I would buy. I'm gonna just give you the first three, because these are ones that I actually bid on and am losing right now, you know. Jesus, can't win for losing, man. But this is one of them, and it's a 2007 Ford Explorer. Look at that good now. Look at that good. You can clearly see the damage. This thing here, I would be into it for another fender, another grill, passenger headlight, a bumper. But from that point on, I'm good. I'm good. Even the airbags are intact, you know. It's a 2007 XLT Ford Explorer, and this has 44,000 miles on it. You know, and the loss type is collision. It tells you in the right front is the primary damage, and it also tells you guys that it is being sold by the auto owner's insurance. You see what I'm saying? Now that's number one. Here's another one that I would buy. That Kia Sportage, that Kia Sportage that I showed you guys. This thing here needs nothing. I would actually sell this car with that hood just like that. Well, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be just like that, because what I would do is take me a rubber mallet and I'd beat on that bastard like he was a bass drum until he actually fell back down a little bit, you know, a little bit closer to the headlight, you know, and I'd call it, oh yeah, a little minus such and such, they, you know, such and such happened, whatever, blah. I don't know. I talk to the customers in the way that they want to be talked to, you know. Tell them, yeah, this one here is just this, nothing major. As you can see, the rest of the vehicle is beautiful. Nothing other than that bumper, you know, I'd fix that, of course. It's nothing to pull those back, you know, realign the headlight, or the tail light, excuse me. And yeah, consider it done. Now, let's go to number three. Number three is a Hyundai Elantra 2009, right? So let's look close. Let's see what we can see. As we can see, the front end of this car is beautiful. It's okay. It's not bad at all. But when it comes to the back, there has obviously been some damage in the back. And airbags intact. And as you can see, this right side here took a hit. I would take that bastard back out. I'd take that little piece of a dent back out of it, and on it, which, look at the mileage, guys. 79,000 miles on a 2009 Hyundai Elantra. Now this bitch is going high, I'm not gonna lie to you. But this is what you want right here. This is what you want. You want something that you know is running good. And guess who's selling this? Geico. You see what I'm saying? And why are they killing it? Because of a 4877 bill that they received from someone's collision repair shop. And that brings on another reason why I always look to buy a car which says that its seller is an insurance company, because insurance companies, they don't raise the percentage at which they total loss your vehicle. What does that mean? They do not change from that 65%. I think it's 60 to 65%. If the damage is done to the car totals more than 65 or 60 to 65% of the car's value, they total loss the car automatically. They'll total loss it, give you a check for whatever value they say it's worth, and then you just move on. You go and get you another car, they'll take your car. You know what I mean? So, but what I was trying to say is they don't up their rates. Their rate stays at 60 to 65%. Well, mechanics up their rates every year, and so does collision repair guys or repairmen or a collision shop. They up their rates every year because every year inflation automatically happens, to whereas something goes up in price. It doesn't fail. You know, since the beginning of Pepsi, these things used to cost maybe 50 cents, you know, but now they cost $2, guys. I mean, think about it. The price of living is going up, so the price of repair is going up. The price of gas is going up. The price of milk is going up. Everything is going up. But the insurance companies never change their rate at which they total loss vehicles. Why should they change their rate? Because the price is going up. Inflation is going higher, not lower. So when the price goes up, you must raise your rates. Well, I would assume you should raise your rates to go up. But what that would do for the insurance company is that would put a lot of money out of their banks, because now they can no longer total loss the car because of 65% of the cost of the vehicle is being used to repair the vehicle. They would have to do it once it gets, let's say, to 70% or 75%. So now a $10,000 car has to be, if a $10,000 car, for example, if it gets into an accident and it has $6,500 worth of damage right now, it's total loss. Let's say if it was 75% of the damage, 75% of the cost of the vehicle. Well, that would change things from it being total loss to not being total loss, because now they got to repair the vehicle and pay $6,500 to repair that vehicle for the customer. Well, if it's 75%, well, excuse me, I'm sorry, that's if it was 75%. But if it's 65%, then it's total loss. Once more, I want to redo that because I got a little brain farted. But anyways, $10,000 vehicle gets into an accident, obtains $6,500 worth of damage. Let's say right now that the rate for insurance companies to total loss your vehicle, that means now $6,500 being your repair bill, consider your car totaled. Let's say if they was to go with the inflation route, whereas as inflation rise, their percentage rise. Let's say they did it 75%. Well, now that same $10,000 car has to wait until it's hit $7,500 worth of damage to be considered total loss, not $6,500. Meaning the insurance company would have to pay out of the bank $6,500 to get your car fixed if they raise the rate. That's why they don't raise the rate, because they know for sure that most cars that are in the accident are gonna hit 65% or more in damage costs, because of the fact of inflation from the collision repair guys. So that's how they keep you screwed out of a car, in a sense, and how they can keep in business. But this is not based. I'm not trying to shoot nothing towards. This is no shots made out at the insurance companies, because I like the insurance companies. They do me a good deal, you know what I mean? I got me a 2016 Hyundai Accent from them. I got me a 2013 Hyundai Elantra from them. And being that these cars are now sold, I bought that Accent for like, what, $2,800, and I sold it for $6,500. I bought the Elantra, 2013 Elantra. Damn, I'm wondering if I should say that one. Anyways, I'm going to tell you. I bought the Elantra. It had a little bit of wreckness to it, or a little bit of a side swipe, right? And I paid about 31. I really did. It's beautiful, inside and out. Nothing wrong with it. It drove perfect. Well, I bought it for 3,100, and I ended up selling it for 6,500 as well. You know, so, and then that was on a finance deal, and which the finance deal has what I'm not like other dealers. I mean, I know the interest rate's supposed to be a little bit higher, but I charge 17% interest. Because my thing is, yeah, you can make more money long term, but I really am into this shit just for the flip, you know what I mean? I mean, I would prefer my money up front, if you ask me, and not to finance any cars. But it's just the fact that, you know, in order to make buy here, pay here flow, you must do buy here, pay here. It's simple. But I know some dealers say that they can't work on two business models, as in buy here, pay here, and cash. But I manage them both. I mean, simple. I only finance what I want to finance, and I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong for doing that. Y'all chime in, let me know. Any dealers out here, if you want to chime in on this and let me know, hey, feel free. I will not be offended. You know, I need that input, you know, if anything. Also, I need them likes, guys. So I know, you know, I've done a little bit of justice for you by giving you this information. You know what I mean? Thumbs up, man. Thumbs up. 100 likes. Come on, fellas. But anyways, man, so just letting you know, when you buy cars from IAA, buy it from an insurance company that's selling the car at IAA. Don't buy it from a dealer. And how do you know it's a dealer? When it says no name. If you go and look at seller and it says no name, that is a dealer. He wants to be anonymous. He doesn't want you to know that he's the one selling the car. Cause, golden question, why would a dealer sell a car at an insurance auto auction? Wouldn't a dealer sell a good car to a customer? Wouldn't he still have, and I've seen it, you know, some of the cars that have seller anonymous, these fuckers still got the buyer's guide in the window. Like, the least you could have done was take the buyer's guide out the window. That way I wouldn't know, a dealer wouldn't know, hey, this came from a dealer. You know what I mean? So what is that telling you? If you come from a dealer, he must not have wanted you. He must not could have sold you. He must have had problems with you. So you ought to stay right here where you at, right? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, he just left the buyer guy right in the window. He didn't give a shit. Or I like it when they leave the tag on the key. They leave the tag on the key. You know what I mean? Basically showing you, yeah, this is a dealer selling the car in the auto auction, in the insurance auto auction, trying to claim it off as a car that was sold by the insurance company. But he can't, because he can't put Progressive as the seller or Geico as the seller. So his next best thing, don't put anything. At least you leave it to somebody's imagination. They'll say, oh man, it's a perfect car, no one, you know, nothing wrong with it. Or there's also charity as well. charity can be kind of tricky. See, yeah, charity can be very, very tricky. Let me explain. Charity for right quick. We're gonna make this an hour long. It's already 50 minutes, so we're gonna make this an hour long. Charity. So you got places like the National Kidney Drive. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but the National Kidney Drive or Kidney Foundation is a group that, or a company, I should say, that they come around and collect your donations, you know what I mean? And then they make profit off of your donations by either selling it at an auction or selling it at what we call thrift stores or Goodwills, things like that. Lo and behold, there are some times where trying to quit cigarettes and this little thing is strong. Excuse me. Anyways, there are times where these charitable places or whatever you want to call them, non-profit organizations, I don't understand what they are too much, but I do know that I used to work at a thrift store, and we had our own delivery trucks that would come out to your house and pick up anything you wanted to donate. Anything. It could be a bathtub, a washer machine, it could be a clothesline, it could be a roll, it could be a tire. And lo and behold, hey, what size is it? Is what the boss would ask. You get what I'm saying? They would really want to know, hey, how's the tread on that tire? Oh, well, bring it on in. You know, like, yeah. So there has been times where we were responsible for picking up a donation, and this donation required a tow truck or a flatbed trailer or whatever. So we would have to actually call a towing company to come and assist us to pick up this donation. Well, the donation turns out to be an entire car, you know, and the car does not run. Well, it's just been sitting forever. Dad died. We don't want it on the yard anymore. And you don't know what Dad took to the grave about this car. You get what I'm saying? The car has just been sitting in the yard. Well, IAAI, once the thrift store has that car in their possession, IAAI will be the first call for them to make, or that they will make. They will call IAAI and line up that car in the next run list or the next week's run list or whatever next run list they can get, the fastest run list they can get. And the reason why they're doing this is because it's a charitable situation, so they can't benefit from the car. The company can't benefit from the car. They can only benefit from the proceeds of the car, meaning it has to be sold. All right, so they'll call IAAI, and IAAI will set up one of their little tow network operators and or owner operators, whatever you want to call it, and they'll have that car picked up with a tow truck and brought back to IAAI to put in the next week's run list. And then whatever that car makes, IAAI takes their fee. They take their fee out, and then they give the rest to the seller, which is the National Kidney Foundation or Goodwill or thrift store, whoever, you know. So yeah, but needless to say, there's no telling if that car runs good. And when you're dealing with a situation such as what we're dealing with here in Charleston, South Carolina, in Charleston, South Carolina, our IAAI does not allow us to preview the vehicles at this moment. They call it, they write it off due to a shortage of front-end loader drivers. You know, there's only one front-end loader driver there at the moment, which he can't load the cars that were sold up while arranging the next week run list or whatever. Yeah, so instead of doing both, they only have him doing one thing, which is just running the cars out to the loaders, to the people who bought, cars. As far as the run list, they don't arrange it. If he gets a little downtime from, loading up trucks and shit, then is when they would have him do a little bit of arrangements to the run list. But to say that they have it already, arranged and together, hell no. And I can attest to that. I've been there when they had two loaders and still didn't have the run list. I'm pretty sure you guys seen it in previous videos or my previous IAA walk-arounds. It's pretty much never been all together here at the one in Charleston. No shots, no pun intended, at all. Just saying, it's the truth. But yeah. So that's IAA, basically in a nutshell, guys. So first thing we're gonna do is make sure that the seller is an insurance company, and then we will judge the damages that we see accordingly. If you see a little fender damage, light bumper damage, light hood damage, and you feel to yourself that that's something you're willing to take on and you can get it done in a timely manner, do it. And then make sure, first and foremost, not only in a timely manner, but in a very cost-effective manner, to whereas you can see profit at the end of the tunnel. You can see profit at the end of the deal. You can see more money than you're going to be investing coming back. If you can see that, do it. Do it. It'll be the best thing you ever did. Just telling you now. So that's just my little myth buster or fact finder about IAA and Copart. We can make a shit ton of money out of there. I'm not lying, trust me. I've sold 4 cars last week, and those 4 cars alone made me a total of about, I would say, somewhere near $6,000 to $8,000 in profit. Well, of course, we're still on the up because we just invested a whole lot of money to get the business up and running. But that brought up $6,000 to $8,000 of our investment back to our pockets. So what we take that investment and do, or that $6,000 profit or $8,000 profit, we're going to reinvest the entire thing. Yeah, we reinvest the entire thing to make more profit. Steal money don't make money. Just being real. Steal money don't make money. If your money just sitting, just know that your money is depreciating. Best thing you can do with your money is to make more money. That's it. It's the best thing you can do with your money, man. Make more money. Don't sit it in a bank. Don't sit it in a safe. Don't sit it in the wall. Don't put it in the floor. Don't dig a trench outside in the backyard for it. Don't do none of that shit, because all you're doing is turning that shit into fly paper. You better take that bitch, reinvest it, put it back into a couple more cars, insurance cars from insurance companies, and fix them, flip them, reinvest. Fix them, flip them, reinvest. Fix them, flip them. And before you know it, you'll have double of what you really was profiting. You know what I mean? Triple of what you really was profiting. That $8,000 turned into $24,000, guys. I'm not bullshitting. Hey, trust me. If there's anything I know I know numbers. And I'll tell you what, the numbers don't lie. If you can make 100,000 profit. You can make 80,000 profit. If you can make 80,000, you can make 800,000 profit. It's just a routine. As long as you keep the belt running, the conveyor belt running, the rack's gonna keep stacking, baby. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just leave it with you like this right here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna grind till grinding can't grind no more. All right. So, like I said before, I don't know about you, but over here, the grind times 2. Peace.